Hey guys, today we are gonna talk about Bugatti. It was a German, then French manufacturer of high-performance automobiles. The company was founded in 1909 in the then German city of Molsheim, Alsace, by the Italian-born industrial designer Ettore Bugatti. The cars were known for their design beauty and for their many race victories. Famous Bugatti automobiles include the Type 35 Grand Prix cars, the Type 41 Royal, the Type 57 Atlantic, and the Type 55 sport cars. The death of the Ettore Bugatti in 1947 proved to be a severe blow for the Merc, and the death of his son Jean Bugatti in 1939 meant that there was no successor to lead the factory. No more than about 8,000 cars were made. The company struggled financially and it released one last model in the 1950s before eventually being purchased for its airline parts business in 1963. In 1987, an Italian entrepreneur bought the brand name and revived it as Bugatti Automobile SPA. Founder Ettore Bugatti was born in Milan, Italy, in the automobile company that bears his name was founded in 1909 in Mosheim, located in the Alsace region, which was part of German Empire from 1871 to 1919. The company was known both for the level of detail of its engineering in its automobiles and for the artistic manner in which the designs were executed, given the artistic nature of Ittori's family. His father, Carlo Bugatti, 1856-1940s, was an important art nouveau furniture and jewelry designer. The company also enjoyed great success in early Grand Prix model racing. In 1929, a privately entered Bugatti won the first ever Monaco Grand Prix. Racing success culminated with driver Jean-Pierre Wimmel winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans twice, in 1937 with Robert Benoist and 1939 with Pierre Veyron. Bugatti cars were extremely successful in racing. The little Bugatti Type 10 swept the top 4 position at its first race. The 1924 Bugatti Type 35 is one of the most successful racing cars. The Type 35 was developed by Bugatti with master engineer and racing driver Jean Chazin, who also drove it in the car's first ever Grand Prix in 1924 Lion. Bugatti swept to victory in the Targa Florio for 5 years straight from 1925 through 1929. Louis Chiron held the most podiums in Bugatti's cars, and the modern Mark Revival Bugatti Automobiles SAS named the 1999 Bugatti 18-3 Chiron concept car is in his honor. But it was the final racing success at Le Mans that is most remembered. Jean-Pierre Wimmel and Pierre Veyron won the 1939 race with just one car and major resources. In the 1930s, Ettore Bugatti got involved in the creation of racer airplane, hoping to beat the Germans in the Deutsche de la Merze prize. This would be the Bugatti 100P, which never flew. It was designed by Belgian engineer Louis de Monge, who had already applied Bugatti Bercia engines in his Type 7.5 lifting body. Ettore Bugatti also designed a successful motorized rail car, the Autorail Bugatti. The death of Ettore's Bugatti's son Jean Bugatti on 11th August 1939 marked a turning point in the company's fortunes. Jean died while testing a Type 57 tank-bodied race car near the emulsion factory. Bugattis are noticeably focused on design. Engine blocks were hand scraped to ensure that the surfaces were so flat that gaskets were not required for sealing. Many of the exposed surfaces of the engine compartment featured engine turret finishes on them, and safety wires had been threaded through almost every fastener in intricately laced patterns. Rather than bolt the springs to the axles as most manufacturers did, Bugatti's axles were forged such that the spring passed through a carefully sized opening in the axle, a much more elegant solution requiring fewer parts. He famously describes his or competitor Bentley's cars as the world's fastest lorries for focusing on durability. According to Bugatti's, weight was the enemy. The company attempted a comeback under Roland Bugatti in the mid 1950s with the mid-engine Type 251 race car designed with help from Giacchino Colombo. The car failed to perform to expectation and the company's attempts at automobile production were halted. In the 1960s, Virgil Exner designed the Bugatti as part of his Revival Cars project. A show version of this car was actually built by Kia using the last Bugatti Type 101 chassis and was shown at the 1965 Turin Motor Show. Finance was not forthcoming, and Exner then turned his attention to a revival of studs. Bugatti continued manufacturing a airplane parts and was sold to Hispano Suiza, also a former automaker turned aircraft supplier, in 1963. Snecma took over Hispano Suiza in 1968 after acquiring Messier. Snecma merged Messier and Bugatti into Messier Bugatti in 1977. Uh, Bugatti Automobiles SAS 1998 to present. Pre-Veyron, Volkswagen Group acquired the Bugatti brand in 1998. Bugatti Automobiles SAS commissioned Giorgetto Giorgia of Ital Design to produce Bugatti's automobile's first concept vehicle, the Eb 118, a coupe that debuted at the 1998 Paris Auto Show. The Eb 118 concept featured a 408 kilowatt, 506 PS, 547 bhp W18 engine. After its Paris debut, the Eb 118 concept was shown again in the 1999 at the Geneva Auto Show and the Tokyo Motor Show. Bugatti introduced its next concepts, the Eb 218, at the 1999 Geneva Motor Show and the 18-3 Chiron at the 1999 Frankfurt Motor Show. Bugatti Automobiles SAS began assembling its first regular production vehicle, the Bugatti Veyron 16.4. The 1001 PS supercar with an 8-liter W16 engine with 4 turbochargers. In September 2005, at the Bugatti Molsheim, France assembly studio, on 23rd February 2015, Bugatti sold its last Veyron Grand Sport OVTs, which was named La Finale. The Bugatti Chiron is a mid-engine two-seated sport car designed by Achim Anstey, developed as the successor to the Bugatti Veyron. The Chiron was first revealed at the Geneva Motorsport on March 1st, 2016. Italian entrepreneur Romano Artioli acquired the Bugatti brand in 1987 and established Bugatti Automobile SPA. Artioli commissioned architect Giampaolo Benedini to design the factory, which was built in Campagallino, Modena, Italy. The construction of the plant began in 1988 alongside the development of the first model, and it was inaugurated 2 years later in 1990. By 1989, the plans for the new Bugatti Revival were presented by Paolo Stanzani and Marcello Gandini, designers of the Lamborghini Miura and Lamborghini Countach. The first production vehicle was the Bugatti Eb 110 GT, which featured a 3.5-liter 5-valve per cylinder quad-turbocharged 60 degrees V12 engine, a 6-speed gearbox, and 4-wheel drive. Stanzani proposed an aluminum honeycomb chassis, which was used for all early prototypes. He and President Artioli clashed over engineering decisions, so Stanzani left the project and Artioli sought Nicola Materazzi to replace him in June 1990. Materazzi, who had been the chief designer for the Ferrari 288 GTO and Ferrari F40, replaced the aluminum chassis with a carbon fiber one manufactured by Arspatiel, and also altered the torque distribution of the car from 48 to 60 to 27 to 73. He remained director until late 1992. Racing car designer Mauro Forghieri served as Bugatti's technical director from 1993 through 1994. On 27 August 1993, through his holding company, ACBN Holdings SA of Luxembourg, Romano Artioli purchased Lotus cars from General Motors. Plans were made to list Bugatti shares on international stocks exchange.